The mindset necessary for success. Robert Kiyosaki's real lesson in Rich Dad, Poor Dad isn't buy lots of buildings. It's how to have the right mindset for success. Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, is one of my favorites. I keep 20 copies in my office and I hand them out all the time. In the book, Kiyosaki tells the story of his rich dad, actually his friend's father, who owned businesses and was really wealthy. He also tells the story of his poor dad, Robert's real father, a university professor who worked really hard but died broke. You need to read the book for yourself, but I can sum it up in this little anecdote. Kiyosaki's poor dad would see something that he wanted and say, I can't afford that. Kiyosaki's rich dad would see something he wanted and ask, how can I afford that? The difference in language is subtle, but the difference in mindset is worlds apart. A few weeks ago, I shot a video about doing expense audits using the two-brain dashboard. I worked you through an exercise to determine whether you could afford to hire a new staff member or not, and you can read it by clicking the link below this video. The most important part of the article, though, was the question, how can I afford that? This is the difference between rich entrepreneurs and poor entrepreneurs. Let's say you're combing through your monthly expenses and something sticks out. A piece of software maybe that you're not using or some expensive subscription with like unclear ROI. A poor entrepreneur says, I need to get rid of that billing, get rid of that expense, cut that off, I can't afford to pay for something I'm not using. A rich entrepreneur says, how can I use that thing better to improve its return on investment? Now, you're not in business to keep the software companies in business. You're not in business to keep your mentor in business. The opposite is actually true. We're in business to keep you improving your business. But my first question when I'm looking at my monthly expenses is why am I not getting the results that I thought I would? So I do the same thing with time investments. I ask, why isn't this workout plan working for me? And then I look at my diet, my sleep, and my commitment to the program. And if one of those is the problem, I call my coach and I ask him, how can I improve my results? I've even done the same with my own mentorship. Whenever I felt that my mentor calls were decreasing in value, I've thought about maybe canceling. When you pay $40,000 to $80,000 per year for a program, you tend to notice the monthly billing. And since the ROI on mentorship compounds forever, it can sometimes be murky in the short term. So for example, I wouldn't have scaled one business from 260,000 to 2.5 million without mentorship, but it's hard to track that compounding effect on a spreadsheet. So instead of saying, is mentorship worth the cost? I ask, how can I make mentorship show a more immediate ROI? And then my mentor says, focus on this short-term thing for the next week. And I get a big return, and then I go back to the big picture stuff. It's even easier at two-brain because clients in our growth phase can move from mentor to mentor according to what specialty they need that month. Here's another example. I was one of the first people to sign up for Healthy Steps Nutrition because the value was obvious to me. But the staff person I chose to lead the program wasn't entrepreneurial. We weren't using the program to its full potential. So after many months, I said, how can I improve my ROI on this? I asked Miranda if she'd like to take the course. We started from scratch. Now we see a huge ROI on Healthy Steps. The purpose of an expense audit isn't to cut, it's to maximize. Every expense should create value. If it's not, before you cut it, ask, how can I afford this? That's the question separating good entrepreneurs from bad ones.